All right, Max. Time for some return on investment.
I hit the red button.
There you go.
And now put it in gear?
No, it's already in reverse.
Okay.
I like that low range. That's handy. Go forward. You're gonna have to go back to there and push your heel down. Or use your foot. All right, let's pull this prize inside. Wait a minute, lady. She's spinning. Throw in the four-wheel drive. Look at this thing. What a beast. That's good. Whoa. That's good. All right. The white knuckle towing service has a new tool in its arsenal.
Off?
Can you shut it off? What do we think? I like the slow range.
Yeah.
It's pretty handy. I should have had you put it in four-wheel drive.
I don't even know what that is.
You're a little too light to get traction.
Yeah.
It's this one here. You got to push it in to get four-wheel drive.
Oh, yeah. That would have been helpful on the gravel. Yep. All right, I gotta go. Bye, folks.
Oh, boy. Welcome, folks, to 2022. It's a brave new world of hyperinflation, supply chain disruptions, and record high gas prices. Yeah. 2 years ago, we would have parked this thing on the ice and waited for the river to melt. But not anymore. A local YouTube viewer brought this to me. I swear on the phone he told me it was a Toyota Corolla. But it is in fact a 1998 Honda Civic. The story he told me is that it was running and driving just fine. He was going to sell it, and some people took it for a test drive, and they returned on foot. I guess the car broke down, and obviously they didn't buy it. He towed it back home, and he parked it out back, didn't want to mess with it, and it sat there for a few years. Don't know how many, but long enough to grow a nice coating of moss here on the side. Anyway, the years have not been kind to it. Apparently he has a herd of goats, and they used it as a amusement park. And from the smell of it, the rodents have been using the inside as an amusement park. Anyway, it cranks, I guess, but it won't start. He said if you spray it with some ether, it won't start, so he thinks it has no spark. Don't know. I guess let's get into it, see what we figure out. The hood, or bonnet if you prefer, it seems to be a little bit past its structural prime. Well, what is this beast? 1.6? Does it tell me? Yeah, 1.6. Okay. Well, I guess first things first. I'm sure that battery is no good, and I'm not going to have one of those Group 51 batteries. So I guess we'll get the cable off, hook up a jump pack. The intake is off, which is fine, I guess. Yeah, let's get some electricity to it, and then I guess we'll pop out a spark plug boot and see if we've got spark. Kind of go from there. This is a spark tester, so there's just a gap between these 2 points that the spark should jump. You can open it up depending on how many kilovolts your system is. Boy, the smell of mouse it's for real. Oh, that's nice. Windshield wipers are stuck on. He had the fuse layout already printed sitting in the car, so I just pulled the 20 amp fuse for the wipers. Hopefully we remember that when we eventually get it running. I didn't see any spark, so we're going to check the whirligig here. This black wire with the yellow stripe should be power to the ignition module, and it's good. So I think that's all we can really test without pulling the cap off. That doesn't seem right, does it? All right, let's not get distracted. I had to bump it over to access the screw in the rotor. There we go. Now that. I don't like this weird bend in the spring on the coil. Doesn't seem right. But the cap and the rotor look brand new. Yeah, okay. Oh. Did I just do that? Or was it like that? Yeah, did I just do that? Or was it like that? Ah, that thing's loose on there. Okay, we may have found the problem. So that wire right there was off the ignition module. Looks like the terminal's bent a little bit too, maybe. Yeah. So that's no good. What is that wire? Yellow with green. Ignition output signal. Ah, okay. So that wire comes from the PCM. So this gizmo right here must be the pickup. So that thing sends the signal to the computer to tell it where the engine is in its rotation. And then the computer decides what kind of timing advance and everything that it wants, and it sends that back to the ignition module on this wire. And then it's got a power wire, and then this one here controls the coil directly. So I think we just tweak this terminal a little bit so it will stay connected. I think we might be in business. Should we do the rest of them while we're here? I think we should. Cool. Okay, now, do we have to put that all back together to test it? I think we probably do. I don't like this. Let me straighten that spring out. Yeah, we'll just put it in the opposite way. That might work. Let's give it some help. Well, shoot. Might have to have a real battery. Progress, though. Progress. Now, I don't see any kind of a port to test fuel pressure, so we're going to try to crack this, whoa, banjo fitting loose, and it's got pressure. So, okay, so it's got fuel. Yeah, lots of fuel. That's not the problem. What is the problem? I don't know. I think it just needs to crank faster. I don't know. Can't hurt. Something's locked up there. Alternator, maybe? AC compressor? gotta push the clutch pedal down. Oh. All right, the alternator's locked up. All right. I have painfully loosened the alternator. See if she'll go. All right, what's going on here? Man, that should be plenty of compression to run it. I don't get it. I don't know. It's got a hell of a good starter, I can tell you that much. We got spark. I think we're getting fuel. The spark plug was wet when I had it out. I don't know what's left. Timing, maybe? I guess let's get the cover off and see what's going on there. Well, I don't know, folks. I really don't. It's kind of hard to show you. You gotta take my word for it, but the timing marks are right on. So there's a mark there and there. They should be in line with the top of the head, and they are. And then there's a mark down on the damper, and that should be lined up with the pointer at top dead center, and it is. We know that number one's on top dead center compression because the valves are loose, and the valve adjustment seems, that seems reasonable. I also checked the injectors with a Noid light, and they are firing. I don't know why this thing won't run. Doesn't make any sense. I think maybe we'll take a fuel sample and kind of, I guess, just see how it looks. Yeah, kind of weird. I thought it would fire right up as soon as we had spark. Now, why won't that burn in the engine? Doesn't make any sense. I don't know, that's quite a bit left that didn't burn. That's a bit troubling. I don't know, I don't see any water in it, but I don't like it. Smells funky, burns funky. So we're gonna pump as much of it out as we can. All right, we pumped out about 7 gallons of old gas. I put in about 3 gallons of new gas. I'm just flushing it out now. So I wanna make sure we get nice fresh gas through the lines and right up to the fuel rail. Of course, when you're doing this at home, you wanna make sure you pump your fuel into an approved container far away from any dodgy electrical connections. I don't know, something we're missing. It's still not happy. Coolant temperature sensor or map sensor or something. Now the only code it has is for the intake air temperature sensor, which is unplugged. I've never seen a no start because of an IAT sensor, but I guess anything's possible. how can the engine have spark, fuel, timing, and compression and still not run? I don't get it. Is our ignition timing off some way? How can we test that? I don't think we can without it running. I don't know, this is the craziest thing I've seen in a while, that's for sure. All right, folks, all I can do is laugh, because otherwise I'm gonna cry. The problem is with the timing. It's not the cam timing. These plug wires are in the wrong spots. So according to this layout, that should be number 1, and it is currently number 2. So let's pull that out. I'll move number 1 over there, like so. Now, this one here should be number 2. This guy should be number 4. So they had this 100% wrong. Okay, and then number 3 should be that guy. There's a 1998 right on those plug wires, so they must be original. But like I said, I think somebody's done a tune-up. The cap and rotor looked brand new. Spark plugs looked new. So that should have been a clue to always double check. Always double check the last guy's work. All right, let's see if this thing will run. Hey, hey. Must have oil pressure, the light's out. That sounds pretty good. Fantastic. Might be a problem with the IAC. That is fantastic. Just fantastic. All right, folks. It almost stumped me. Yeah. Cool. Well, now what? Probably need to fix the brakes. I think the clutch works. Put the intake back together, put some air in the tires, take it for a drive, maybe? Yeah, fantastic. Well, folks, we definitely took the long way around the barn. Again. But we got there in the end, so that's all that really matters. I will communicate to the owner that this fine automobile now runs, and we'll let him decide how far he wants to go. I know for sure it needs an alternator. That one is locked up. I did break it loose, but as soon as you put the belt on, it locks up again, so the bearings are shot. It also needs a wiper switch. The wipers are stuck on high. I unplugged the switch and the wipers turned off, so I'm pretty sure it's just a switch. Would you believe that I charged that old battery and it actually passed a load test. I don't believe it myself. Anyway, I'm going to reinstall the air box as soon as I evict some rodents. Ugh. And then we're going to put this thing outside until we hear back from him. All right, folks, some time has passed, and yeah, this place has gone bonkers. Probably the biggest thing going on is we're getting a new roof on the shop. That's the original shingles. Building's about 20 years old. It had a couple tabs missing in the front, a couple tabs missing in the back. Those spots have gotten a lot bigger and a lot deeper. We're down to the wood in a couple places. I was going to do it myself, but I just realized I'm never going to have time to get it done. And then it took us about a year to find a contractor who would even do it. And then we got on the schedule back in September, and they haven't had time to do it until today. This is about the first week of May. That's a 2008 Ford F-150. Both front coil springs are broken. Super common problem on those. Ford Explorer needs AC work. GMC Sierra Denali needs brake work. Gotta hide that one from VCOR. Dodge Ram 3500, it's gonna get a full Banks catback exhaust system. There's a 357 Pete, needs fenders. More craziness inside. The Ford Super Duty's still here. I built a hitch for it. Trying to patch up the exhaust. Somebody chopped off the converter that's not a converter. And I gotta put a transmission output shaft seal in it. There's the fenders for the Pete. Four-wheeler's still here. Yep. Das Auto. Needs tires. But the biggest problem currently is today we're having a heat wave. I think it's a record high today. And this place is like a swimming pool. Yeah, the doors have been open for, I don't know, 2 days in a row now, and I still can't get the place dried out. Talk about that later. Talk about that later. Let's get back to this guy. I think the 60-mile-an-hour wind we had the other day popped the bumper cover loose and knocked that piece of foam out. So we got to reinstall that. You know, we want it looking its best. Well, full disclosure, folks, I did tickle her underbelly just a bit before we tried to get it running. Wanted to make sure it was worth saving. There's no reason to put a lot of time and effort into it if the subframes are all rotted and suspension's falling apart. Honestly, it's not too bad under here for a 24-year-old Illinois car. Subframes are solid. It's been undercoated. Somebody's done the exhaust. But the problem is right there. So I think the reason we have no brakes is that this brake line here has been converted from hydraulic to pneumatic. There's just nothing left of it. I don't know, that looks like a whole can of worms there. Oh man. So we should have a supply fuel line, a return fuel line, a purge line, and then 2 brake lines. And they are, well, they're quite crusty. See, they run inside that fancy plastic jacket. Yeah, the problem is, I don't know if we can replace those brake lines without pulling the fuel tank. Yeah, well, I can tell you 2 things, folks. Number 1, replacing those brake lines is going to be very, very painful. And number 2, nobody's going to come do it for me. So we might as well get to it, I guess. I think we're going to need a lot of compression fittings to fix this brake line. Of course. Well, that was 3/8. Let's try 9mm, see what it does. Nothing. Just give it the hard goodbye. What a mess. Whole thing's like this. I thought the bearings would be seized up. The bearings are fine. I think what happened is the rodents, our old friends the mice, they built a nest between the alternator and the firewall, and that nest must have been complete with indoor plumbing and iron plus aluminum plus mouse pee equals sad face. So you see it swelled up the laminations here on the field winding, and it actually cracked the aluminum case, but on the inside it pushed the laminations into the rotor. That's why it was seized up, and I broke it loose, but it's not gonna live. Also, look at the wear on that front slip ring. It's pretty severe. Anyway, I guess we need a new one. There it is, folks, just in the nick of time. Thunderstorm is rolling in. Took them just about exactly 2 days to finish the roof. 3-man crew. I figured if I did it myself, it would take at least 2 weeks. I'm glad it's done. The lead guy on the roofing crew, he's been doing it for 24 years. So I imagine he knows what he's doing. Looks good to me. Max approves. I've also made a bit of progress. Das Auto has spiraled out of control. I thought it was just a broken belt on a tire, turned into a bent rim. Then I sent the guy to a junkyard to get the rim, and they didn't have the one that they said they had. So I don't know where we're at with this. It's also got a massive oil leak on the backside of the engine. Nobody said anything about that. And he wanted the AC tuned up, so I'm learning how to use the new AC machine I bought. Yeah, what a mess. I do not want to work on Volkswagens, I know that. Also, don't spill DEF fluid in the trunk of your car. Some nasty stuff on that spare. Anyway, back to the Civic. I have done much work. not on camera because I still have not found a way to make replacing brake lines remotely interesting, but that's what I've done. So the lines from here out to the wheels were still good. They were rubber coated. I just cut the ends off, flared them, and installed the correct inverted flare coupling. 2 new brake lines all the way up to the front. And they go up to the proportioning valve. And then up there is a new alternator. And there's a hungry person who's here to bother me. Just a quick tip for you fully depreciated vehicle owners. Your 3 best friends: zip ties, self-tapping screws, and fender washers. With those 3 things, there's nothing you can't fix. Baby tire spare, giant oil slick. That's German engineering. All right, folks, let's take this mouse house for a ride. Quick before it starts raining, because we are currently lacking in the windshield wiper department. Love it. I don't know if the windows go down. We are not gonna try it. Do we have brakes? Kind of. They're gonna be a little spongy. The brake bleeding procedure was not ideal. Let's just put it that way. Oh, do we dare? Yeah, there might be a few critters in there. Is that a brake or is that a wheel bearing? Either way, it does not sound good. No battery light though, that's good. No check engine light somehow. Oh, she pulls pretty hard to the right. Not too bad, really. Not too bad at all. Alright guys, we gotta cut the test drive short. Weather's coming in on me. I have no wipers. Seems to drive fine though. Clutch is a little weird. Pedal's right on the floor. And the brake pedal's also right on the floor, so they go good together. It seems to be crawling with ants. And I know it's been crawling with rodents. Otherwise, runs and drives fine. 5th gear. Yeah, we're hypermiling now. Something pretty nasty coming in. Alright folks, that's it for the Honda Civic. I'm going to go inside before I get too wet. Yeah, runs, drives, needs a wiper switch. Maybe the tiniest bit of cosmetic work there in the front end. Otherwise, I think it's good to go. Coming to a Craigslist near you. Thanks for watching. Yep, that escalated quickly.